Hello, it's John Perivale here with this week's roundup of chamber music. And by chamber music, I don't just mean a couple of people sitting around playing the violins. I mean song and text from medieval times. I mean dances from the early 1800s. I mean, yes, it includes very classic sort of Haydn and Mozart-esque kind of string quartets or piano trios. It also includes percussion duets playing music which is absolutely now. All of that this week, almost all of it, given away for free, or simply indicating that they will accept donations, which I would love you to make, and the amount of work some of people put into this, just to creating the programs and then explaining the programs and then performing the programs. This is performing arts gold, just thrown out there on the landscape of the internet. I urge you to start picking these morsels up and storing them away because they can inspire you and uplift you and just give you a heck of a good time. So let's get right to it. Let's get to the first one, which is happening today. Today, by the way, is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Almost 1/4 of the way into the new century, which is beginning the new millennium. And here we are. The first live stream to bring to your attention today is, well, let me put it this way. Do you like saxophone? Do you like piano? Do you like the way they go together? The Philadelphia Chamber Music Society is live streaming a saxophone piano duet today at 7:30 in the evening Eastern Standard Time. That's 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast. That's 1:30 in the morning in Europe. But if you're a saxophone lover, why not stay up to 1:30 in the morning? I'm up to 1:30 in the morning all the time, and I'm in Europe, by the way. And down in Australia, it would be tomorrow, Wednesday morning at 11:30 in the morning. A perfect time for a saxophone piano duet. And the guy that's playing the saxophone is Valentin Kovalev. Let me show you a picture of Valentin Kovalev and of Amy Yang, whom he is playing. Amy Yang on the piano. Takes me a second. We're using a new technique for uploading these photos. There they are. There's this Amy with her hand thrown up, ka-pa-ding, and Valentin rearing back with that saxophone. So you can tell this is an exciting duo. Now, Valentin is originally from Russia. He's from Siberia, of all places. And he studied in Russia at the Gnesen school, which is the big school there. And then he studied at the Frederick Chopin College in Moscow. Then he went to the Paris Conservatory, and from there he's now studying at the University of Michigan, one of my alma maters, which apparently has the oldest and most esteemed saxophone curriculum in the United States of America and maybe in the world, because who plays the saxophone better than Americans? I mean, we practically invented it. But anyway, he won a slew of prizes from 2018 to 2021 in the US, in Israel, in France, and in Russia. And what he likes to do is juxtapose classical works with contemporary music from Spain, Turkey, and Japan, which is exactly what they're doing in this concert. They'll be playing Debussy's Rhapsody for Saxophone and Orchestra, arranged for piano and saxophone, obviously. Brahms's Sonata in E-flat major, Opus 120, number 2. Again, that's been rearranged for this purpose. Schumann's Phantasiastücke, Opus 73. Say's Suite for Saxophone and Piano, Opus 55. And Yoshimatsu's Fuzzy Bird Sonata. The whole thing will take about an hour and 45 minutes. We give you the link to the live stream. I think we also give you the link to the program. They have detailed program notes. I don't know if we're going to be able to include the link to Valentin because we only have so much space in our comment sections. But you can find it. Look up Valentin Kovalev. And it's free of charge. We'll give you the YouTube link. But the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society does ask you to log on to their page and make a donation if you can, because it costs something. So that's today, December 3rd. Following up on, earlier today, there was a terrific St. Mary's Perivale live stream. And I'll get back to St. Mary's Perivale for both Thursday and Sunday of this week. 2 more terrific live streams coming up from them. Okay, what do we have next? What we have next is Wednesday. I'm not sure how to introduce a theatrical concert about medieval times, about this wondrous mystic woman from medieval times, Hildegard von Bingen. But here I am, and it's my job to introduce it. So maybe I should just start out by introducing to you, here's a photograph of Hildegard von Bingen. Maybe I could tell you a little bit about her. She lived from, now those of you who know her already know this. She lived from the year 1098 to the year 1179. She was involved in composing music, poetry, philosophy, science, medicine. And she was a mystic when it came to her spiritual views. This concert intertwines the music that she composed with her own texts about the visions that she experienced. Now, this will all be performed principally by this group from Belgium called the Psalants. Now, the Psalants were founded by a guy named Hendrik van den Abele, a choir director, and in 2000. And it's they focus on Gregorian chant and polyphony from various historical periods, the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance, early Renaissance in particular. For instance, they've worked on special projects, like they've done a complete recording of a 16th century manuscript for the Beguinage Museum in Turnhout. The Beguines were women. It's not, there's the 1940 song, "When they begin, the Beguine." That's not what Beguinage is talking about. The Beguinage were communities for women who were not nuns, so they weren't under the authority of the church, but they were spiritual groups, and they lived in their own communities inside of cities and towns in medieval times and early Renaissance times. So they were probably the freest women on the planet at the time, not the property of husbands or under the thumb of the church. And apparently Hildegard von Bingen was related to them. And anyway, I take that back. I have no basis for saying that. Okay, so hold off on that. And the Psalants have also performed at places like the Maastricht Festival of Sacred Music, at St. Mary's Basilica in Nova Scotia, at the Bruges and Utrecht early music festivals. Where else? The Muziekgebouw in Amsterdam, the Concerthaus in Vienna. So they will be the people who will be putting most of this over, but they will have help because this is being live streamed by a Spanish group. Let me make sure I get the name right, because I don't know them that well. It's called March Vivo, it's put together by a foundation in Madrid called Foundation Juan March. They're in Madrid, and so for this performance, they're going to have help from 2 very well-known Spanish actors, well-known from film, television, theater, Palmira Ferrer and Jose Luis Torrillo. So I can tell you what the text materials are. I don't think they will say much to you. It's there'll be the readings include Codex Dendermonde from the Abbey of Dendermonde, Belgium, or the Ordo Virtutem from the Wiesbaden Codex at the Rupertsberg Convent in Germany. So this is very abstruse kind of stuff. But I commend it to you if you're interested in this kind of early music. This is an exceedingly well-researched, well-performed kind of concert, which I do not think will disappoint you in any way. We move on. In the week, also but also on Thursday. Did I give you the time on that one? I don't think I did. I've got to back up. The timing for this concert on the Visions of Hildegard von Bingen is Wednesday, December 4th, 6 o'clock in the evening, European time, which will be noon on the East Coast and 9 in the morning on the West Coast. So these are very convenient viewing times if you're interested in this material. On Thursday, for those who simply like excellent classic chamber music, it's hard to think of a better live stream series for classical music than St. Mary's Perivale. They've done something like 1,500 live streams of high quality music. They did one today, Tuesday, as I'm doing this live stream, which was just superb. And all of them tend to be very high quality. And this Thursday is no exception. Thursday, December 5th, at the usual 2 in the afternoon in London, 3 in the afternoon in the rest of Europe, 9 in the morning on the East Coast, 6 in the morning on the West Coast. They will be live streaming Takashi Kikuchi on the viola and Jozef Janik on the piano, playing a thoroughly classic repertoire, which is not to say that it is bereft of somewhat modern touches. They'll be doing 3 sonatas by Scarlatti. They'll be doing Schumann's Märchenbilder, fairy tales for piano and viola. Debussy's L'Île Joyeuse, the Joyous Isle. Vaughan Williams's Suite for Viola and Orchestra, arranged, of course, for piano and viola. Gershwin's 3 preludes for the piano, which are lovely. I use them as interludes in a music recital of Aaron Copland's old American songs, and they're perfect for that. In fact, Gershwin wrote them as to be used as interludes for a soprano who was doing a recital in New York back in the 1920s, and she needed music to be played during a couple of pauses so she could catch her breath and rest her voice. Now do Fauré's Après un rêve, which again has to do with singing, because la dee 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 da 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 la da 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 la dee 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 dee. That's Après un rêve. It's a beautiful piece, and they'll be finishing off with another modern touch, Irving Berlin's White Christmas. And I'm not going to sing a White Christmas for you. I am no Bing Crosby. So that's Takashi Kikuchi, graduate of the Tokyo University of the Arts, doctorate of musical arts in 2003, did postgraduate studies at the Royal Academy of Music, has played at a lot of special occasions, including the London Paralympics closing ceremony. And Jozef Janik, a Slovakian who moved to London in 2000, did postgraduate work and got a master's in piano with the Royal Academy of Music as well. That may be where they met. He also plays a lot of jazz. He'll go from conducting Vivaldi's Gloria one day to playing jazz at the Vortex in London another day. So you might want to check out this couple. It'll probably be a very animated and fun classic chamber music concert. Later in the day, on Thursday, I think about 6 hours later, 3 hours later, maybe, something like that. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Gotham Early Music Society's Midtown concerts are as expert as it gets when it comes to early music. This week, they're outdoing themselves with an extraordinary dance event performed by a galaxy of early dance experts. Let me put up a little imagery for you, because I go to the trouble to have this imagery. Here's a shot for you, if you will, of Julia Bengtson, who is sort of the heart and soul of this whole event. This is Midtown Concerts brings you Francis Johnson's new Cotillion in honor of General Lafayette from 1824. So this is Thursday, December 5th, 1:15 p.m. on the East Coast, 10:15 in the morning on the West Coast, and 7:15 in the evening here in Europe, doing this kind of dancing. What can I tell you? It's 200 years ago. It's the fall of 1824, and the Marquis The Marquis de Lafayette, the General Lafayette, who came over and helped the French, helped the Americans to win the revolution against the Brits. The Marquis de Lafayette is coming to America for a tour as a guest of the nation in 1824 and 1825, and somebody gets a hold of, the people arranging it get a hold of an American composer, Francis Johnson, and said, we need some new dances for the guy. And so they created this, what Francis Johnson called new cotillons, new dances. And the New York Baroque Dance Company has reconstructed Francis Johnson's new cotillon for the Marquis de Lafayette. So this is really going to be something. I would love to show you a picture of. I know I have a picture somewhere of Julia Bengtson, not in costume like that, but I am straining to find it, so I may not be able to produce it for you, unfortunately. But she's absolutely lovely as a dancer. What else can I tell you about this? The New York Baroque Dance Company has been around for a while. They were founded in 1976. It's what, almost 50 years ago or 40 years ago? And they specialize in historic dance, but this ranges from street performances to fully staged opera ballets. They've been involved in over 80 operas, and with various reconstructed dances and ballets choreographed in period styles. They've toured all over North America and Europe. And Julia Bengtson is a Swedish dancer and choreographer based in New York. She's choreographed over 20 ballets, operas, and films. Her choreography has been performed at Carnegie Hall, the UN headquarters, Alvin Ailey Dance Center, Opera Lafayette, the Sandler Center for the Performing Arts in Virginia. She's a board member in choreography of Higher Ground Festival and the Bach Cello Suites Festival, and Early Music America's Emerging Professional Leadership Council. The list goes on and on and on. And James Richmond, the artistic director of the Dallas Bach Society and director of the New York Baroque Dance Company, is involved. He's a Harvard magna cum laude. There's Daniel, what is his name? Alan Jones is involved in this, and he's more of a dance historian. He's based in Paris, and he has done a lot of study of early American ballet, its European roots. He's been made a chevalier of something or other by the French for the work he's done. I mean, this is just going to be a star-studded, terrific, detailed reconstruction of an event. This is so rare and took so much work and is so highly valued. If you're an early music buff, or if you're just curious about it, this is a rich banquet to enjoy. The Gotham Early Music Society has done it again. Now, if none of that is your bag and you just want, suppose you just want to hear some Philippine Christmas music. Well, that's online for you on Friday. Friday at 7 o'clock in European time, 1 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and 9 in the evening in Moscow. The Artbene company is live streaming an organ and voice recital called Philippine Christmas, because it's an organist and a soprano from the Philippines who will be putting on a special concert, including European music and Philippine Catholic Christmas music. More details about that are in our organ recital roundup, so I commend that to you, so you can check that out there. When many people hear about a percussion concert, they think, well, it's drums and banging on things and sticks clicking and things like that. That's not all there is to it, because percussion includes xylophones and marimbas and other music makers. And this Sunday at noon European time, which would be very early 6 in the morning on the East Coast. Late night Saturday, 3 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 o'clock in the evening, Sunday night, down under in Australia. March Vivo from Madrid will be live streaming the Stèles percussion duo. And they'll be doing much more than just banging things together. Now, these guys are big believers in yin and yang and how the interplay between opposites or complementary poles is the foundation of everything. And that doesn't really tell me a lot. But they will be serving up a highly interesting percussion concert to make their point. Stèles is Ismail Azidan and Guillem Serrano, two percussionists. After a long career in various groups separately, they got together to put together this Stèles project, where they have worked with a lot of other ensembles and orchestra. The Barcelona Modern Ensemble, the Grand Théâtre de Lisieux Orchestra, Novart's Ensemble, Neo Percussion, the Basel Sinfonietta, and the National Orchestra of Spain. Now, what are they going to be playing? Well, let me tell you about it, because I think it sounds really cool. Anyway, hold on a second. I think I have another picture of these guys too. I want to show them to you in other context, because I just think these are fascinating guys. Here's another picture of these two guys at work. So check that out. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, to me, it all sounds like fun. They'll be playing music. I'll give you some samples. They'll be playing Anna Ignatowicz Glinska's Passacaglia for vibraphone and marimba from 1968. Jesus Rueda's Perpetuum Mobile, also from 1961. Some John Cage, some Pilar Miralles, In That Farmhouse There Was No Light, for two cowbells. So I just think this concert is going to be an awful lot of fun to tune into. It's being live streamed by March Vivo from Madrid, so it's free of charge. Why not at least check it out? It can't be any worse than a good laugh, and I think it could just be just a fascinating foray into what you can do with percussion in different ways and what people have come up with in terms of compositions in the last 50 years. I mean, it's just I don't see how you can shrug that off. Okay, so we finally get down to Sunday, where we have two more live streams for you to talk about. How long have we been going now? I think we're already at 22 minutes, so we are once again in one of these situations where I'm prevailing on you to listen for a half an hour. You just tune it off and come back later on and see something else. The next live stream that we have for you is back at St. Mary's Perivale on Sunday, and it's going to be this lovely group. This Sunday, December 8th, St. Mary's Perivale's high-quality chamber music series presents the De Beauvoir Trio, playing Haydn, Mendelssohn, and Lily Boulanger. That's at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon London time, 4 o'clock in the afternoon European time, 10 in the morning on the East Coast, and 7 in the morning on the West Coast, if you really want to get up and hear some live-streamed, very classical music. They'll be playing Haydn's Piano Trio number 24 in D major, Mendelssohn's Piano Trio number 1 in D minor, and Lily Boulanger's D'un Matin de Printemps. They're a London-based group. I have another photo for you that I'd love to show you, which shows them more at work. I always prefer to show people at work, but their other photos are so charming. I just had to show you those as well. Here they are. At least I think they're at work there, if they're not posing to be at work. They aim to amplify marginalized voices. But this is a these are not marginalized voices they're playing on Sunday. They've done concerts and recitals at places like Wigmore Hall, the Leeds International Concert Season, and the Institut Français in London and in Edinburgh. It should be, once again, one of the usual high-quality concerts that you hear from St. Mary's Perivale again and again and again on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. If you love classical chamber music, It's going to be hard for you to do better. Enjoy it. And finally, I've said this before, I'll say it again. If you want music which is now. Let me get rid of this picture first because that's not it. If you want music which is now, then there are few places as good to go and get it as Constellation Chicago. This Sunday, Constellation Chicago's Frequency series is live streaming Shi-An, Costello, and Michael Hall at 8:30 in the evening Central Standard Time. That's in Chicago, which is 9:30 in the evening on the East Coast, 6:30 in the evening on the West Coast. It's 3:30 in the morning in Europe. So I doubt anyone will stay up for it, but it's a lovely 1:30 in the afternoon in Australia on Monday afternoon. A lovely lunchtime for your concert. I believe I have a photo that I can show you of these two artists. And there they are. Shi-An, Costello, and Michael Hall. They will be playing contemporary works for viola and piano. Thomas Adet's Three Berceuses, that's lullabies, for the Exterminating Angel. Augusta Reed Thomas's Cantos for Slava. Mary Kuyu Medjan's A Boy and a Makeshift Toy. Don't you just love the names? You know, it's not, string quartet in E minor or whatever. It's Stacy Garup's The Solitude of Stars, but they're not done. There'll be a little classic. Paul Hindemith's Sonata, Opus 11, number 4. And Mario Caro's Luna de Abajo for solo viola. And so that one of them gets to show off on the viola. And Shi-An Costello will be performing a new work that he has composed for solo piano, commissioned by and presented in partnership with a group called the Sana Healing Collective. Michael Hall is a Chicago-based viola player. He's performed across Europe, Asia, and the United States. New music connoisseur says he's, quote unquote, utterly masterful. Chamber Music Today talks of his superb technique. He's also the co-artistic director and director of education for the Bandung Philharmonic in Indonesia, if you weren't aware of that, and serves on the board of the American Viola Society. So I guess he knows what he's doing with the viola. Shi-An Costello is a pianist and composer who's very involved with contemporary art as well. And in his own compositions, he will incorporate things like fragments from voice memo recordings, imaginary transcriptions of lost or forgotten sound, elements of what he refers to as American minimalism and neo-romanticism. And the last piece that they're doing for the Sana Healing Collective, they're interested in changing, as so many in the U.S. are, the paradigm of mental health treatment into making new approaches to making healing accessible to everybody. I mean, it's a major issue in the United States these days. And so this is what we have for you all week long. It took me 30 minutes to get there, but what can I say? If you're interested in contemporary music for the viola, played with quality by a duet, I think Sunday evening, Constellation Chicago's Frequency series has exactly what you want. And even if that isn't a special interest of yours, could be interesting to find out, don't you think? I should mention for that one, Constellation Chicago, that is not free of charge, really. We give you the YouTube link so you can watch it for free if you want, but they ask you to log on to the other link that we give you, the tickets link, and pay $7.22 or €6.50 to help cover the cost and pay the artist. That's what we have for you this week. I hope that you find some or any of these pieces of value and of interest. I hope they may uplift or inspire you or just show you a heck of a good time. I think that there's this percussion duo on. on Sunday. That's from March Vivo, which that's got to be a good time. So I will be checking that one out. If any of these are on YouTube, look in the comments section, see if Access Arts Live is there. Say hello to us and let me know if we were the ones who brought you to it. If not, say hello to the moderator and let them know that Access Arts Live turned you onto it, so we get a little recognition for what we do. We do all the homework. So all you have to do is just click and go. But if you want to be sure that you know about our weekly and sometimes daily updates and reminders, you want to subscribe to us, especially on YouTube and or Facebook, so that you always get notifications when we're about to do this kind of thing. We try to send out notifications in advance. Ciao for now. Have a great weekend.